It's a new day, and more heartbreaking funerals for the victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre are taking place. The mass shooting has now pushed gun reform on top of the nation's agenda. ABC's Mark Greenblatt is in Newtown, Connecticut.
The emotional final goodbyes for the victims of the Sandy Hook shootings continued this morning. Mourners gathered here for 6-year-old Catherine Violet Hubbard's service, a young girl known for her love of animals and an infectious smile. Funeral processions have become a somber, familiar scene here now. More than 100 firefighters honored young Daniel Barden, who wanted to grow up to be one of them.
Very upsetting that these young kids had their lives taken away from them so early.
In Washington, President Obama is pushing his cabinet and Congress to initiate effective gun reforms, such as banning the sale of high-capacity ammunition clips and what he called military-style assault weapons, and to close the so-called gun show loophole that does not require background checks in many private sales.
This is a team that has a very specific task to pull together real reforms right now.
In response, the sale of those weapons has spiked around the country as gun advocates race to make last-minute buys. Prices on eBay spiked as well. And from gun-friendly Texas, controversial calls to arm teachers now. In tiny Wichita, Texas, licensed teachers are already allowed to carry concealed guns in the classroom.
My goal is if someone comes in to try to hurt my little ones, that they are killed.
Others see the elementary school massacre as a marketing opportunity, in this case for bulletproof backpacks.
And we now expect Attorney General Eric Holder to come here to Connecticut later this afternoon to meet with investigators as he works to implement the president's push for reforms. Mark Greenblatt, ABC News in Sandy Hook, Connecticut.
Lawmakers across the country are following the lead from Washington, pushing for new ways to help keep schools safe. One solution on the table is arming teachers. There's now a company, Ops Gear, helping teachers learn how to use firearms. You touched on that a little bit in the package we just saw. Their course covers gun permits and emergency survival tactics. The CEO believes educators should have the option to arm themselves.
Violence needs violence at times to solve the problem. You have to disrupt the behavior of the bad guy. We think firearms are a good alternative.
Not everyone is on board, though. Many school leaders nationwide think guns will lead to more bloodshed. In Tennessee, one Marine, heartbroken by the tragedy at Sandy Hook, is taking matters into his own hands, standing guard outside his daughter's school in Nashville. To honor the 26 victims of the tragedy in Newtown, Governor John Hickenlooper is asking Coloradans to observe a moment of silence tomorrow. He and governors across the country are calling for the moment of silence at 9:30 a.m. in local time zones, which is when the shooting happened. Governor Hickenlooper also is asking government buildings and places of worship to ring bells 26 times in honor of those who died at the school. Right now, a mother accused of threatening middle schoolers with a gun is in court. Today, Monica Avila formally will hear the charges against her. Police say she went to her daughter's school and threatened a group of girls she believed were bullying her daughter. Avila is facing charges of menacing and possession of a weapon on school grounds. We have some new developments for you in a Call 7 investigation. A federal appeals court says 2 child protection workers can face a wrongful death lawsuit over the death of this boy, Chandler Graffner. The 7-year-old died of starvation in 2007 while in the care of foster parents. He weighed only 31 pounds when he was found. The Call 7 investigators found Child Protection Services was alerted to possible abuse or neglect, but did not go and check on the boy. Graffner's biological parents filed a lawsuit, and the appeals court rejected the workers' argument that they have immunity from lawsuits. New for you this morning, more signs of a slowly improving job market. First-time claims for unemployment rose slightly in the last week. The Labor Department says jobless benefits increased by 17,000 to 361,000. Claims have fallen sharply from early November when Superstorm Sandy hit. The 4-week average of claims is now at a 2-month low. Still, more than 12 million people are out of work. We have a live look for you this morning in Washington, D.C. A key vote is set, and we will talk about that in just a moment. We unfortunately do not have that live picture for you, but Let me just set the stage and tell you what that is all about. Today, a key vote is set in the House on that Republican plan to avoid the fiscal cliff. The plan continues tax cuts for most Americans and includes spending cuts. But President Obama is threatening to veto the bill because the tax cuts are extended for everybody but million-dollar earners. It's expected to pass the House today, but it's expected to be stopped in the Senate. We'll let you know. Happening today, Senator John Kerry is to lead questioning in Washington about the attack in Benghazi. A U.S. ambassador was killed in the attack. Kerry will be asking State Department officials what they're doing to fix, quote, systemic failures that led to the lack of security. One person that will be missing from today's hearing is Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. She's still recovering from a stomach bug and a concussion. Some have criticized Clinton for trying to avoid the questioning in Congress, but she says she's staying away on doctor's orders. Developing today, Tim Tebow's career with the Jets may be over. Head coach Rex Ryan pulled off a shocking move on Sunday, benching both Tebow and starter Mark Sanchez for the third-string quarterback. The usually cool, calm Tebow now is hinting that he may leave New York once the season is done.
I think it's fair to say that I'm a little disappointed. I just believed that I would get an opportunity to try to compete, as a quarterback and get opportunities, and just doing whatever I can to help this team win, and that's been my goal since I got here, and it'll be the goal for these next 2 weeks.
Tebow's relationship with the Jets may not be the only rocky relationship in his life right now. There's word that he and actress Camilla Bell have split. Today, Penn State is making the first payment on its $60 million NCAA fine over the Jerry Sandusky sex abuse scandal. The university today will pay $12 million, the first of 5 annual payments that it will make. The massive fine is just one of a series of unprecedented penalties stemming from the scandal. The NCAA says the money will go into a money market account while a task force works out how it will be distributed through an endowment to combat child sexual abuse and help victims.